Hello, my name is Michelle Quinn, and this month we're looking at how to move from underemployed to livable wage. Here in California, we all know that everything has become very, very expensive. So just because you're employed doesn't mean that you're making a livable wage. And I've noticed that there's an increase in employers giving part-time hours. And this is a way for them to avoid paying out those benefits to their employees, which cuts the cost, that is given to the customer. So a lot of employers are offering more part-time work as opposed to full-time work, making our clients underemployed and not making a livable wage. So today we will discuss your skills, your current skills, some soft skills that you may have that you're not aware of, your path to training and certification, and expanding your job search, and then looking at what exactly is livable wage. So my name is Michelle O'Quinn. I'm the job developer here at Scare. Some of the things that I do with my clients is we do a career assessment. It's called the ONET. After giving participants the ONET, well, first, the ONET is an interest profiler. So we look for employment based upon your own interests and what would be a best fit for you according to your interests. After completing the ONET, you're given a few career options and pathways. So we begin career exploration, which means that we look at these options in careers that they said might be a good fit for you. We look to see what kind of training is necessary for those positions, and if those positions are right for you right now. Another thing that we do here at Scare is resume and cover letter development. With the cover letter, we just put together an outline for the cover letter because each cover letter needs to be geared towards the job that you're applying for. Sometimes jobs ask for a resume and cover letter. Most times they just ask for a resume. I myself employed over 180 workers, then I would just ask for a resume, not necessarily a cover letter. And then job tracking, job search tracking. So with this, I would have you complete a job log. That way that you can see like which jobs you've given your resume to, which ones ask for a resume and cover letter. If you received a call back, what jobs you might need to follow up on. Also, we practice writing out our applications. I've corrected several applications over the years, and we do one master application, so then that way you can copy paste what you need to include on these other applications. Also, we provide a mock interview. With the mock interview, it can be a one-on-one, or we can also offer you a panel mock interview. Okay, so we're going to go over your skills. So this list is a list of soft skills that most people, well, that some people have, and that you don't know is a valuable asset to employers. So one that I'll go over is clear communication. And we'll go over that one further, but I'm just going to go through this list with you. Listening skills, that is listening skills. Woo! We're all parents. We know how important listening skills are. self-control, a positive attitude, assertiveness, conflict resolution, problem solving, some empathy, because sometimes you get yourself in a situation, well, not yourself, but sometimes you find yourself in a situation where your coworker may need more empathy, more understanding of what they're going through in their own life. And we sometimes find ourselves, picking up the slack for our coworkers in order to make sure that that we're being productive, that our company is being productive, because we are a unit in the workplace. Patience, etiquette manners, self-management, time management, confidence, focus, common sense, situational awareness, improvisation. I will get that word. But sometimes you have to be able to make a quick decision and fly off the seat of your pants, because things don't always go the way that you think that they're going to go, and you have to be able to change gears really fast. Enthusiasm, optimism, do personalization, meaning don't take everything personal. But at the same time, taking responsibility. So taking responsibility for your part and your portion of, what happened or what went wrong or what could have changed or what could have went better, but taking responsibility. And a sense of humor. I laugh at myself all the time because I'm actually funny. But anyways, yeah, and having a sense of humor. So communication is verbal, nonverbal, visual, and written. So verbal is use of strong, confident speaking voice, use active listening. So it's like you're listening not to respond, but you're actively listening. You're taking in what the person is saying. You're actually thinking about what they're saying beyond the superficial, so that you can engage in a meaningful conversation. Avoid filler words, avoid industry jargon when appropriate. I call it bumper sticker talk. I don't like nonverbal is notice how your emotion feels physically, and be intentional about your nonverbal communication, and then mimic nonverbal communication you find effective. With the nonverbal communication, it's the whole crossing your arms, standing in Superman pose, when you're talking to people. Sometimes your nonverbal communication can say that, hey, I'm open, but also too, you can communicate nonverbally, like, I don't want to hear what you have to say, like not looking at the person while they're speaking, looking in a whole nother direction. So it's just, you have to watch what your body is saying. And although you can't see your face, but try to feel your face, to make sure that you listen up your forehead muscles. Because your forehead, it's a nonverbal communication sometimes. Visual, ask others before including visuals, consider your audience. Use visuals if they add value and make them clear and easy to understand. Your written communication is strive for simplicity. I was always taught that less is more. So I was taught to be able to communicate what I needed to say, but not using so many words. So just kind of calm that down, because especially with the population I used to work with, parents are not, they're on the fly, and you need to be able to say or communicate or convey the information really quickly and get them to understand what you need them to know really fast before they dart out of that door. So simple is best, especially if you're making flyers and things like that. Don't rely on tone because people can't read your tone. Sometimes can, but sometimes, depending on your mood, you added that tone. Um, Take time to review your written communications and keep a file of writing you find effective and enjoyable. Communication skills. Communication skills are the ability to use when giving and receiving different kinds of information. Some examples include communicating new ideas, feelings, and or even an update on a project. Communication skills involve listening, speaking, observing, and empathizing. It is also helpful to understand that the difference in how you communicate through face-to-face interaction, phone conversation, and digital communication, like email and social media. Telephone communication. Telephone communication lacks verbal cues, and when we're having a phone conversation, we don't have the facial expressions or the body language to help us decode the message. So we must focus on every word being said and the tone of voice when it's being used. And we compensate for the absence of nonverbal cues by adding more weight to the words being said and the tone of the voice being used. And texting, instant messaging communication, when we text each other using a phone or PDA, we only have the words to send our message and to receive it. Your choice of words is very important when sending a text message. And we're missing the tone of voice, facial expressions, body language, and the presence to help us decode the message. To complicate matters even more, when we text, we use shorthand like LOL for laugh out loud. We also misspell or shorten words because we don't want to use a tiny thumbboard to write a long message. And because we're in rushes, we send the messages, and because we're in a rush to send the messages out. After all, it's instant messaging. And texting, so much gets lost in the communication because all these things are missing. When communicating, use a strong, confident speaking voice. Speak slowly. Speaking too quick will make you appear nervous. Avoid filler words. A filler word is an apparently meaningless word, phrase, or sound that makes a pause or hesitation in speech. Common filler words in English are like, okay, right, and you know. Stand straight, and your body language is just as important as the words that you're saying. Written communication includes memos, employee manuals, faxes, instant messages, letters, and emails. An email is equivalent to texting with an added disadvantage. In an email communication, there is a delay between the message being sent, received, and replied to. Sorry. This prevents a solid thread of conversation from forming. So when someone sends you an email, they're in a frame of mind that may or may not be the same later. And when you read when you read and reply to the email, your reply is now floating at a different time and may link the original message, or it may be irrelevant. The same applies to your reply. There may be a delay between the time you send it and the time the other person reads it. And in the business world and the corporate world, like I found that a lot of times an email would be sent, but by the time the other person reads it, it's irrelevant. It's already said and done with. And you might find that making a phone call, depending on what the subject matter is, a phone call might be better than sending an email. So I'm just going over, just to clarify, I'm just going over a few skills that you may already possess, and that you don't realize are actually um, a benefit to a company. Like, we need people that are able to communicate. There are people that do not have degrees that are effective communicators. And then we have people who have degrees, but they're just socially awkward and they cannot effectively communicate, or they're lacking empathy, with their clients, or they're lacking empathy with, the people that they're working with. So just because you hold a degree, it doesn't mean that you can effectively communicate. And just because you don't have a degree doesn't mean that you can't. Like, I know a lot of people who they don't have any kind of degree, but they are very social butterflies and they can communicate effectively. Another one is professionalism, to have a positive attitude, believe that you and your work is important, to show that you enjoy your work, and think before you speak. You don't gossip or complain. You're enthusiastic. You're considerate. There goes that empathy. You're considerate, cooperative, and courteous with your coworkers. So you can tell the difference between an employee that has a positive attitude and is professional, and then having an employee who is not professional, and having someone in your workplace or your business place who, for example, may be lacking being cooperative. It's really hard to get things done and to be productive when you have someone that's fighting you the entire way and that just wants to be contrary the entire way. So being professional and holding professionalism is important in the workplace. And not everybody has that skill. I have to reiterate that. Not everyone has that skill. And this is not something that you learn in a training. It's not something that, you learn when you go to college or go to a certificate program. And these are skills that you develop in the workplace. But employers appreciate it when you come in the door and you have it. So we're looking at expanding your job search. So job search isn't just like sitting online and looking at Indeed, seeing what qualifications you have and matching them up with the job, that might pay more. You know, you can, there are other ways to look for a job. I mean, you can look at Indeed, you can look at Glassdoor, you can, back in my day, it was Craigslist, but I don't know how well that works out for anybody anymore. But, they have all these search engines now. If you're looking to go into the medical field, for example, you might look on the hospital website itself, and click on career and see what jobs they have available. If you're looking to work at, I don't know, for example, DD's or something like that, you can click on the career button and see what jobs that they have available. You're also able to put in your zip code to see what DD's stores are nearby. If you want to work in a hotel, you can go on the website of those individual hotels, click the career button, and find employment that way as well, creating a profile. There's governmentjobs.com. You can create a profile on there as well. But those are not the only ways that you can find a job. So surprisingly, you can discuss your career interests with family members at a family gathering or with friends at a gathering, and you'll find out that, somebody's hiring and they might, work there, or they could put your name in, or say, look out for so-and-so's resume. Also, discovering resources at a community street fair. A lot of times there's companies, small companies, big companies that are out there at those street fairs, and they're not only offering their services, but they're looking for employees as well. Attending events with other professionals. So you might find consortiums, workshops, things like that with people that are in your same field, and just self-marketing and talking about yourself, your interests, what skills you have, and that's also networking. And also connecting with others with the same professional interests as yourself on social media platforms. So there's like groups on Facebook. For example, for preschool teachers, they have like their own Facebook group. There will be a Facebook group for construction workers and who's hiring and things like that. That's just one way that professionals try to get the word out about who's hiring in career fairs that are coming up, or hiring opportunities that are coming up as well. So one thing about being underemployed, you'll find that professionals look for like certificates. These certificates can help you get a higher pay, help in advancement opportunities at work. Also, that it gives you that competitive edge when you're at work. So for example, I was a program director over 3 schools. So let's see, in all 3 schools, well, 2 of the schools we had infant, toddlers, and preschool. And one of the schools we only had toddler and preschool. So it was a competitive edge if a teacher, a preschool teacher, was certified in infant and toddler and preschool. So then that meant that she was able to move from a preschool classroom into an infant or a toddler classroom. So she had like 3 options as to where she would want to go. And most teachers would want to go to the infant room because it paid more. And there we go with the higher pay, advancement opportunities, and then the competitive edge. And then also, if you're showing that you're trying to go to school and that you're trying to get a certificate or, a degree, some employers offer tuition reimbursement, kind of like a bonus for you completing the courses. Some other certificates that you can look into are foreign language, computer software, CPR and first aid, leadership certification, project management, and trade certificates. So one website that I like is Career One Stop because it literally is one stop. And so you can look for training. They have apprenticeship programs you can look at. You can put in the search bar your zip code. So that way it gives you these, like it says types of training. So high school equivalent, short-term training, college, certifications, I need some water, apprenticeship program, internship, professional development. But then like you can click at the bottom and it has like videos. So towards the beginning of the video, I was saying how like I give people the ONET, which is like a career assessment. So like let's say that the ONET says that, oh, you're great for such and such job, but you don't know what that is or what that's even about. You can click on videos under Career One Stop, and on those videos, they'll tell you like what that job, what it is, what are the details of, what are you doing for that job, what kind of schooling you need for that job, what the work environment's like, so that you can see if that's even something that you want to entertain or that you want to do. So, I mean, that's why I love Career One Stop, because it literally is one stop. Also, too, you can look for at the top. You see it has like job search, so you can put in your zip code and what kind of job you're looking for, and you can even look for employment here on Career One Stop. So when you click on something like apprenticeship program, so you can click on I'm a career seeker, I'm an employer, or I'm an educator. So of course you're going to put I'm a career seeker unless you are an employer or an educator, and that's what you want to do. But it gives you the opportunity to click on that and then see what kind of apprenticeship programs that they have available. So now we're looking at that livable wage. So currently, right now, I think minimum wage is $15 an hour. If you work 80 hours per pay period and you get paid like every 2 weeks, that comes out to $9.51 with California tax taken out. And which is about $1,900 a month, give or take. Could be more if you're getting paid 3 times that month. So that's how monthly works. But so it's about $1,900 a month. So now we're like looking at this chart of the livable wages. So this chart of livable wage is based on California, San Diego. I put in San Diego, California, and so this is the chart that they gave me that popped up. So a living wage for one adult with 0 children is $22.61 per hour. Minimum wage, San Diego, California, is $15.50. So for one child, a living wage, if you have one child, is $45.26. That is a livable wage for one adult and one child to live comfortably in San Diego, California. So now we're going to go over to 2 adults with no children. A livable wage would be $33.45. With one child, that would be $42.11. And then a livable wage for that's a livable wage with one adult working. So a livable wage with both adults working and no children, that would be $16.73. And then with one child, a livable wage would be $24.65. And that's with both adults working. So the cost of living here in San Diego, California is very, very expensive. Very expensive. So ideally you would want both adults in the home working. Ideally you would want to be making that livable wage. Just understand that making that livable wage, you do not have to like attend a 4-year college, have a master's degree or things like that. There are job opportunities when you have a certificate or go through a certificate program. So I'm not bashing that at all. If you want to earn your degree, more power to you. I did it holding down a full-time job, and I have 7 kids. But when I was going through that program, those 7 kids were little and needy. And it was hard. It was very, very hard. But just, taking a look at that chart of livable wages, and the calculator that I got up here, it's a wage calculator. You can probably Google it. And I just put California in. They took out all the taxes. I think the gross was 1,200 something, and then after taxes it came to 951. So and that's semi-monthly. So just looking at that, but I mean, poverty wage, it's like unless you have, I don't know, they're saying $15 an hour. So for poverty wage, that's where that would be. If you had 3 children, 1 adult working, that would be a poverty wage. So I just wanted you to kind of get a gander look at this livable wage chart, and just, understanding what your income looks like in compared to a chart about your livable wages. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at Scare. But just, you can look for employment anywhere, and it doesn't have to be online. It doesn't have to be on these search engines. Sometimes you can find employment just by networking with friends and family. So look out for that, and don't be afraid to step outside the box and to to look for jobs that you thought you might not be able to get. You'll be surprised. You just might get it. Don't be afraid. All right. Thank you for being with me and listening to me try to get you from underemployed to a livable wage. And check out Career One Stop. It's pretty fun. A lot to see. They have a lot of information. Have a wonderful day.